Info Media Reacts. What's going on, everybody? I just got to keep it real with you right now. Remember, Malcolm X told us that we should not be looking to entertainers to be our leaders. They shouldn't be our spokesperson. They shouldn't be saying things that are a detriment to the black community. In this situation, we have a rapper by the name of Juelz Santana. He's been around for a while. He was on a podcast not too long ago. It was called the No Funny Shit Podcast. And when he was on there, he made some statements that I thought were just, in my opinion, were wrong, incorrect. They were on this podcast sort of talking about how, you know, technology's taking over, AI is taking over, and so forth and on. Kids don't need to read anymore, that he doesn't read, that you have audio books that can read for you, or you have machines or technology that will tell you what your contract is, right? But this is indicative of, I think, something very, very bad. We wonder why you see athletes and entertainers and rappers that go broke, that sign bad record deals for 360 deals that they get into. They didn't read their contract properly. We've seen this. TLC, remember TLC won a Grammy and said, we ain't got no money, because a lot of these artists, rappers and entertainers, sometimes they don't read their contract. And even if they can read, they don't comprehend what they're reading properly, and they're being misled. This man is setting up here on this podcast telling you and me that children don't need to read. He don't need to read, that it's obsolete reading, and had the nerve to talk about how it's important to have financial literacy. But then he's talking about it's not, you don't need to worry about reading. I think this is crazy personally, but I want you to let me know in this video what you think about what Juelz Santana said right here. Let's get into it right now. Check this out.
I think when we get older,
they gonna put your lyrics on somebody.
Yo,
I'm telling you,
they're gonna screenshot it and people gonna really think it's real.
For real.
They gotta stop this. AI is taking over a different demographic of things, and I think that shit gonna take over.
Nah, but seriously though,
said it right?
voice on
Demographic?
G shit though, we gotta start teaching our kids though, just financial wealth and literacy and all that shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses and how to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait, stop.
It has to be. What do you all think about what Juelz Santana, rapper Juelz Santana, is talking about here? He's contradicting himself. On the one hand, he's saying he wants kids should learn businesses and financial literacy. In order to understand financial literacy, you do need to read, because when you go into business, you need to be able to read contracts. You need to be able to write contracts. You need to be able to understand and comprehend everything around you. Not only having something read something like a machine read to you, right? Or you need to be able to have reading comprehension to be able to understand what it is that you're reading. And then the host of this podcast is right. You have a literacy issue in America. You've got kids that can't, you got not only kids, but you've got some adults who don't read at a really good grade level and don't have good comprehension. There's some people like this. What do you all think?
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information.
And
you don't
not
have to know how to
understand.
read. That's not reading and understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga.
Sir, everybody, what do you think? He's simply saying that math is more important than reading. Do you agree or disagree with Juelz Santana's point of view here? I think math and reading are both very important, and they both go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. What's the first thing that you learn when you're in school, in elementary school, or when you're growing up? You learn your ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, because you have to learn the ABCs in order to learn how to write as well as Read. It all goes hand in hand. What is he talking about? If you can't read, how do you create a business in which you have to deal with contracts and you have to read instruction? If you have a business where you've got mechanical machines, you've got to be able to read how to operate them.
I'd rather have zero book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power, not to...
That's fantastic. Look. Yes, you can listen to audio books, right? You can do that. And that's a fantastic... it's a technology that's fantastic. But reading is fundamental. Do you agree with him that you should just throw away the idea of reading? I want people to be honest on this video, because I think what he's saying is very, I think it's very problematic, what he's saying. But you let me know in the comment section again. Let's continue. I'm going to move this back a little bit so you can hear some more.
Nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power, not to...
You got to read your contract, Els.
You don't have to
you can listen to that too. They got apps you can put it in and it'll read it to you. Are you crazy?
You have to be crazy, sir, not to read your contract. You have to be crazy. Because by not reading a contract, you don't know that you're being what? You're being conned out of your money. Didn't you have Prince and you had Michael Jackson and various entertainers who you thought were that you would think would be very astute, and they had to fight against the record labels? I think Prince had to go against Warner Brothers to get his masters, because that's why he had that symbol slave on his face, because they were ripping him off. And then you got artists that get ripped off their publishing. Tribe Called Quest had a hit album and they said they were still sleeping on their mama's couches and floor. So, yeah, you can use technology, but it's more important that you can look at the paperwork, read it, and comprehend it for yourself. Because when you rely on machines to do things for you, couldn't it make you lazy? Can't technology make us lazy? Let me know what you think. This is crazy.
Huh? It probably will. AI will now. That's what I'm saying. That's how freaky
You don't have
it is.
to read. Shit can be told to you.
It'll be so. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like you don't need to know how to read.
Floyd Mayweather don't read that shit.
At a restaurant.
They're using Floyd Mayweather as an example. Floyd Mayweather has issues. We've seen Floyd Mayweather on programs where he could barely pronounce words. He could barely read. I think one time he was on a radio show and they tried to get him to read an ad, and it was Floyd Mayweather was having a difficult time. Now, Floyd Mayweather has a lot of money because he's making money using his hands boxing. But if he can no longer use his hands to box and he has no athletic ability, then what would Floyd Mayweather do? He would be an illiterate person who wouldn't know how to read, and people could get over it. And I think, I think Floyd has blown through money. That's been reported. So using Floyd Mayweather as an example, I say is a poor example, to say the least. Let's continue with this.
Like, it's mad shit you gotta read.
You saying that, you just gotta know what you like.
You know what I want.
You ain't gotta read the restaurant. You can just say, what is this, a steak joint? I want steak, nigga. I want, what y'all steak come with? What y'all got? When the waiter come,
reading way more important.
When the waiter come, you be like, what come with the steak? Fries, fish, and the third. All right, I want this.
Do you believe that Juelz Santana sounds very uneducated, very ignorant, as people would say? He sounds very buffoonish. What do you think? I want to know what you all think about this. This is so crazy. And this is why Malcolm X was right. We can't have these entertainers acting like they leading us somewhere. And then we got kids that are listening to this, and you got kids that look up to some of these entertainers like this. I'm lost without words right now. Hey, you know?
The third. I ain't got to read no menu. I'm just saying, you don't have to read. Like, you know what I mean?
So he is actually, this man on this podcast is actually telling you, Santana is actually telling you that he don't need to read a menu when he goes into a restaurant. All he needs to really worry about is whether the restaurant has steak. And if he likes steak, then he knows I'm going to say I want steak. You know how goofy this sounds when you really think about it, everybody? Wow.
Reading is just when people want to embarrass you and try to play you, and them saying do funny shit. Oh, you can't read your contract. Anybody who said you can't read your contract, they didn't read their contract. They had a lawyer read their contract. They just saying it to be funny.
They said R. Kelly couldn't read.
Everything is like a you know. You got some niggas that do joke. You know, they wear their sleeve on their heart. And some niggas, you know, they make everything like into jokes and shit like that.
Wow. Did you hear what this man just said? This is crazy. This is why education is important. I don't care. What do you all think? Give me your opinion. Do you believe that as much as we have technology that can assist us today, is it still important to still have certain basic skills like reading and being able to write, right? And things of that nature. Arithmetic or math is very important. That's why math and reading go hand in hand together as well as writing. What do you think, everybody? Please leave a comment on this video. This is crazy. I want to say thank you for watching the video. I'm going to continue. I've got more for you. If you want more videos like this, make sure you hit the bell notification because you're going to keep getting them like this on this particular channel. This is crazy. This is bananas. I just want y'all to hear a little more taste of this.
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information. You don't have to know how to read. That's not reading and understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga. I'd rather have zero book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power. Not to,
you gotta read your contract, Elves.
You don't have to.
You can listen to that too. They got apps you could put it in and it'll read.
All right. He says that he's a common sense type of individual. And I understand that common sense is important, but the problem is not everybody has common sense. And can you make an argument that that Santana is not using, Juelz Santana is not using great common sense and putting this type of information out like this? I'm wondering, everybody, if it could be that he's got some damage to his brain because this guy was hooked on lean at one point in time, you see. Or is it just that this is just pure ignorance as, I don't know, usual from a person who may not be as educated, but they might be, their common sense may not even be. Well, let me let you hear what Roland Martin had to say. He really went in on this one. Check this out.
How on earth can your ignorant ass say out of your mouth that we need financial literacy, but we don't need literacy? How? I think by the 8th, 9th grade, our folks should be launching businesses. Okay? how are you going to launch a business if you don't know whether you need an LLC?
That's true.
Whether you need an S Corp?
That's true.
Whether you're going to be an Inc. How do you even know what type of company you're going to have to launch?
Do you all agree with Roland Martin? Is he making a good point here? Is Juelz Santana being sort of foolish here, buffoonish? What do you all think? I think the whole thing that he said and what he was saying was totally crazy. And, you know, but I want to know y'all opinions because this is crazy. Just a little bit more of Roland Martin.
Juelz, I'm curious. How are you going to know where you should incorporate your business? Whether it's in Delaware, in Nevada, in Texas, or some other place.
That's true. That's true. Very good point. I want y'all to give y'all opinions again. I'm very curious to see what people are going to say in the comment section of this video. But remember I mentioned that there could be something wrong with his brain because sometime back in his younger years, he admitted to getting hooked on lean by this guy right here, Paul Wall. Got him hooked on lean. It's pretty. Paul Wall feels bad about introducing Juelz Santana to lean. And Juelz had a big addiction to this. And I just wonder if this could have affected his brain in any kind of capacity. And check this out right here. He's on the Art of Dialogue talking about his addiction.
Your lean addiction. What led to you getting hooked on lean?
Oh, man. I mean, I think it's the same old story, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? I was drinking it through, you know, it was just kind of it got introduced to me through Houston guys. Paul Wall, my man Paul Wall, couple of the guys from Houston. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was being talked about. So, you know, everybody tries to see what culture is about. So that was like the Houston culture at the time.
So do you listen to what he's saying? It was part of the culture. Is getting high and trying drugs or getting high off of lean, which is like you're using over-the-counter medicines, you're mixing it up with liquor, and is that really culture or is that just being not smart? Y'all let me know.
You know what I'm saying? So I tried it and I liked it at the time. I mean, anybody who's tried it probably liked it. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's why people do it. You know, it was sweet. It was tasted like candy. The one I tasted, it was just like, you know, I didn't even really know about the effects and all that. I gradually learned about all that as it was happening to me.
Wow.
Oh, you know, all right, cool. First cut, oh, this make me feel good too. And while you smoking, I could do this. Didn't even know it was an opioid.
Woo! Man, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. What do you all think? I mean, it's crazy. So I just wonder if that being high, using drugs and substances have done some damage to his brain. I'm just asking a question. You give me your thoughts in the comment section of this video. Let me show you something else. He's also had a run-in with the law. So this is why I say, should we even be listening to these entertainers? Should entertainers even be taken serious? Especially ones like this rapper who has had trouble with substance abuse. And Juelz Santana had a trial which was delayed back in 2018 as the rapper negotiated a plea deal. Rapper Juelz Santana scheduled for trial on charges he tried to get a gun or a weapon onto a plane at an airport and has been pushed back so he can continue the negotiations. Remember this? This happened some years ago where this man actually brought a weapon onto a plane, and I think he did 27 months in jail for this. Juelz Santana sentenced to 2 years after bringing a loaded gun to an airport. Okay? The Dipset rapper was sentenced to 27 months in prison. He also pled guilty to possession of, once again, controlled dangerous substances. The man has some problems. And I don't like to, everybody can have problems in their life, drug problems, alcohol problems, whatever problems. And you got to overcome them. But I just wonder if that might have done some damage to his brain to have him talking like this, because it's weird. So, and this is what Malcolm X had to say about this sort of stuff. Check this out right here.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Is Malcolm X speaking the truth? You let me know. You let your thoughts be known in this video, because it's very, very, very wow. Juelz Santana gets on the No Funny Shit podcast, and this is what he puts out. I would say that reading is very fundamental, very important, just as important as math. You can't have one without the other. This is crazy. Y'all take care.
Shanty.